they're using Obama right now and his image in the African American and minority communities to try to promote this city year. Whereas Hitler, went after the youth that was blonde-haired and blue-eyed. Obama and his administration, and really it's the globalists have decided to harness the power of minorities and those who are poor and African Americans. If you watch these city year commercials, most of them are minority kids, and sometimes they blatantly say, in fact, we may have to pull it up and play it in the program, that if you're a person of color, how could you not join city year? I mean, I'm sitting there with my jaw on the floor as this young African American kid is saying, if you're a person of color, you need to join city year. I mean, oh my God. Listen, I'm going to hold you over, Terry. I'm going to get your question on the other side. We're going to go to Rob, Rick, Jim, and more. It's the Alex Jones Show. Go to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv right now, folks. The biggest stories, the ones that matter, they're the headlines. They're at Infowars. Back after this, it's the Alex Jones Show. All right, folks, we are back. We're going to go back to Terry, then get to Rob, Rick, Jim, and more. It's the Alex Jones Show. Terry, what's the question?
The question is, being that, they're ramrodding all these bills through Congress without these guys even looking at them and reading them, how about, what about representation here? I mean, can't we put pressure on them and get these guys out of office or something? Because, we can't have taxation without representation. How are they representing us if they're not even reading the bills that they're passing?
Well, I agree with you. It's just so corrupt now. How do you stop the Leviathan? How do you stop the monster? Is there a candidate that you can get behind? Is there a candidate that can run and win? I mean, if you look at somebody who had the most name recognition out of any non-political figure, it was Cindy Sheehan. And she ran up against Nancy Pelosi, and the media just totally stopped covering her, acted like she didn't exist, didn't mention her run for Congress. She was still able to get just under 20%, but not able to win. So the real question is, can we hold them accountable? This is taxation without representation. And to me, it was encouraging watching John Boehner, on C-SPAN earlier, talking about how he fell asleep on a plane, and the entire crew had signed a letter to him encouraging him to keep fighting this health care bill. And again, how is it that we can pass a bill that has 300 pages added to it at 3 a.m. before it goes before the House, and then they can't provide a physical copy of the bill for them to read before they actually vote on it? It's high treason, and I couldn't agree more. Thank you very much, Terry. Let's go to Rob in Texas. Rob, you're on the line. Yes, sir.
Afternoon, Jason.
How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I'd like to discuss the gun control initiatives.
Please do.
One of the things that I've noticed, Minneapolis, I lived up in Minnesota for 14 years before I moved back to Texas, and I had my carry permit up there. And their murder rates in Minneapolis were at an all-time high. They even had the nickname Murderapolis at one point. And I was just reading a couple weeks ago that there had been a total of 5, maybe 6 murders in Minneapolis this year.
That's not so bad. I mean, it's not the best thing in the world, but 5 or 6 isn't that bad.
No, it's great compared to their old numbers. By midsummer 2003, 2004, they had 90-some-odd murders.
Wow.
And I can't help but think that the 63,000 carry permits that have been issued up there have something to do with that.
I would have to agree 110%. And I remember, watching Dateline as a youngster, probably about 10 years ago when Jesse Ventura was in the governorship, and they were trying to demonize him for having a concealed weapon on his persons. Meanwhile, the guy is an ex-Navy SEAL. Who would be more qualified to carry a concealed weapon than the governor of the state, who is an ex-Navy SEAL? And they were trying to take away his gun. I mean, it is unbelievable how people will do mental gymnastics to try to demonize the Second Amendment.
I don't understand it. It's just beyond comprehension.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's the powers that be know that an armed populace is a dangerous populace when you're trying to impose tyranny. So they're trying to get those guns out of our hands before they go full force, full board ahead. We're taking your house. We're bulldozing your neighborhood. And if you don't like it, too bad. FEMA's here to take care of you. I thank you for the call. Let's go to Rick in Florida. Rick, you're on the line. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on hold for about 2 hours now, and I hardly ever hear an opposing call, and I got a feeling you're going to cut me off because this is going to be one.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to know, you're so knowledgeable about the Federal Reserve. Do you know what the Federal Reserve all has in common? And while you're thinking about that one...
Wait. The Federal Reserve all has in common. What do you mean?
Yes. What do
the Federal Reserve and what have in common?
Tell me, after all the research that you've done, that you can't figure out a common denominator with the Federal Reserve or the media today? You know, you want to...
See you later, buddy. All right, I know I'm going to disagree with you because you want to make it about race, and that's why you called. I'm glad you stayed on 2 hours to be racist. All right, let's go to Jim in Washington. Jim, you're on the line.
Wow, it's going to be hard to follow that act.
It's unbelievable to me. I mean, you're talking about government legislation. You're talking about a private banking organization. You know, you talk about corruption, and somebody wants to make it about racism. You know, and then they're going to start screaming at you because they know they're about to be racist on the air, and you're going to challenge them on that fact. It's just unbelievable to me. Go ahead, man.
Okay, well, first of all, I just wanted to say you and Alex and the whole crew there are just doing an absolutely wonderful job. It's just wonderful to listen to you guys every day, keep up on what's going on. I had a fun suggestion that I think would kind of be like a double whammy.
All right, well, hold over. We'll go over that suggestion on the other side. We'll continue to take calls, David, anti-federalist, and more. And then we're going to hit up this story, China babies sold for adoption. As China becomes more westernized, we become more like them. And that's what this new world order is about. We'll be back after this. It's The Alex Jones Show.